All right, today we're going to talk about why men always seem to come back when you don't want them to. You know, this is sort of a pattern that we've noticed among our coaching clients consistently ever since we started ex-boyfriend recovery and ex-girlfriend recovery. So it's not just men coming back when you don't want them to, it's also women coming back when you don't want them to for our male clients. But since we have an audience a little bit more of women than men, we decided to focus on why men are coming back consistently. And for the longest time, we had a really hard time trying to find science behind explaining why this phenomenon seemed to occur. But we believe that we think we've pinpointed exactly why it seems to occur. But first things first, why is it that men always seem to want to come back? Well, truthfully, there's a lot of different reasons for why men always seem to want to come back after a breakup. Ultimately, the lowest hanging fruit that I can think of is the grass is greener syndrome. Now, if you really think about it, a breakup in and of itself is one party thinking that they can do better than another party in the dating pool. But sometimes they're mistaken. Sometimes reality doesn't quite meet their expectations of how things are going to go. So they break up with you with the intent of finding someone 10 times better than you. And let's say they do find someone that they think is 10 times better than you, and they start dating that person, and it's really great at first, but eventually the shine wears off. Eventually the honeymoon period kind of levels out, and they begin to truly make a discernible comparison between the two of you. And they realize, you know, my ex was better. So as a result, they are naturally gravitating more towards you. Now, this isn't the only reason for why exes will come back after a breakup. Hey there, real quick, I want to say that if you're new to this YouTube channel or you're trying to figure out what you should be doing to get your ex back and you're trying to learn if you even have a chance in your specific circumstance, probably the smartest thing for you to do is actually stop by our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, or take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz that can be found at exboyfriendrecovery.com. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, taking that free quiz is super easy to do. All you have to simply do is look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can fill it out and get an easy answer on what you should be doing going forward and overall what your chances look like in your specific situation. All right, so let's get you back to the video. Another huge reason is familiarity. In other words, it feels familiar to be back with someone who you spent a lot of time invested in. So we find this happens a lot more for our clients who have been with their exes for a long period of time. When I say long period of time, I'm talking like 5 years plus. They have a lot invested into that relationship, and so it's harder for them to let it go. Also, they have established a consistent routine of patterns with that person, and all of a sudden when those patterns stop, it's a little bit of a shell shock, and you kind of want to go back to that familiar feeling that feels safe. Another huge reason for why men always seem to want to come back is they get caught in what we like to call the on-again, off-again cycle. This is pretty straightforward as well. You and your ex date, and then you break up, and then you date again, and then you break up, and then you date again, and it just kind of goes back and forth like a ping pong match. What's going on here? Well, there's a lot of the grass is greener syndrome involved. There's a lot of immaturity aspects involved. There's a lot of that familiarity aspects involved. But ultimately, I really do think it is honed in on the grass is greener syndrome. In other words, your ex has this immature reaction where they think they can do better than you, so they try to do better than you, then they realize they can't do better than you, and then they come back, and then the cycle starts over and over again. But this stuff is really basic, right? Let's get down and deep into understanding why it seems they always want to come back after you've given up on them. So this was actually a pattern that we noticed among our coaching success stories. You'll notice that we're pretty famous on this YouTube channel for posting really long success stories of our coaching clients or our digital product clients who have gone through our program. We're just trying to understand what they did to succeed in getting their ex back. And what we've noticed is that there's this consistent trend among how they approached their exes. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we noticed that a lot of times it was after our success stories, after our coaching clients gave up on their exes, that their ex finally came back. Why is this happening? Well, I recently did a video called How to Make an Avoidant Ex Miss You. We did a lot of extensive research into attachment styles and how attachment styles play into the ex-back game. What's interesting is we learned some very fascinating things about avoidant attachment styles. And as you would have guessed, most of the people who come to our website have an anxious attachment style, and most of their exes have an avoidant attachment style. Now, we can't discernibly qualify them as exactly these attachment styles because we're not trained professionals, but we can kind of look at their behaviors. So if we do operate under the assumption that your ex has avoidant attachment tendencies, what we do know about avoidant attachment tendencies is that people with an avoidant style seem to not miss their exes until they feel that their ex has completely moved on and gotten away from them. In other words, your ex needs to feel that there's no chance of getting you back, and then they can feel comfortable longing and missing for you. We think this is a potential reason for why you've moved on and all of a sudden they want to come back. But upon talking with our success stories, we learned that that's not always how it occurs. After all, a lot of times our success stories are getting results within 2 to 3 months after the breakup. And usually for avoidant styles, it takes longer for them to miss you or long for you. So what gives here? Well, again, we need to turn to attachment styles. So there are 4 main attachment styles. You have anxious attachment styles, you have avoidant, you have fearful, and then you have secure. Now, out of all those 4 attachment styles, there's really only 2 classifications. There's secure attachment styles and insecure attachment styles. There's only one secure attachment style, and you guessed it, that is the secure attachment style. Basically, the person who knows that they're going to be okay alone, who knows that they can be comfortable in relationships. They also know when they can give their ex space. They're just a holy grail. And what's interesting is the rest of the attachment styles, the avoidant, the anxious, and the fearful attachment styles are all classified as insecure attachment styles. Now, most of our clients have these sort of insecure tendencies, and that is okay. But what we try to teach them not only is to heal after the breakup, but we try to teach them to start exhibiting more secure tendencies. Now, what's interesting about the secure attachment style is it almost has this gravity pull for all of the other attachment styles. Essentially, it's like if you're a secure attachment style and your ex is an avoidant attachment style, they'll naturally be drawn to you again because there's that gravity that pulls them towards a secure attachment style. So what we're doing, especially when we recommend a period of no contact for our clients, we're really focusing on helping them exhibit secure tendencies. Understanding, hey, I'll give you space, and also, hey, you know what? I don't care if I get them back. I'll be okay if I don't get them back. And by doing that, it kind of draws them in again. So we think those are some of the biggest reasons for why exes always seem to want to come back when you don't want them to. Now, I am sure there's more reasons for why exes want to come back when you don't want them to, but we always try to ground everything that we're doing in some type of psychological research or science. And we think this is maybe what is occurring on a scientific or psychological level. Now, if you're interested in learning more about getting an ex back or healing from a breakup, probably the best place you should start is on our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. It's a simple, free 2-minute quiz designed to basically tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back, so you know whether or not you are wasting your time. So again, just simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. It will take you to the quiz and you can get started.